Bridgeveyor conveyors have been installed in many of the major postal facilities across Canada. In the Canada Post Gateway Depot in Mississauga, as well as the South Central Depot in Toronto, the Bridgeveyor conveyor system has been operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, problem-free since 1976. At the receiving docks, mail designated for one of Gateway's 36 sorting stations is placed on a floor dolly and moved by conveyor into a monorail system. These flat carts are programmed prior to being fed to the monorail. The coding is done using easily adjusted sliding pins, which engage limit switches to activate the Bridgeveyor conveyor at the required station or truck loading platform. Bridgeveyor has specially designed metal frame carriers which allow plastic tote boxes to move freely through various angles and 45-degree curves found throughout the long multi-level system inside the Gateway Depot. Tough layout requirements within the plant were no problem for the Bridgeveyor engineers, as use of tight radius horizontal and vertical curves move the conveyor around any obstacle. Since no corner sprockets are necessary, working conditions are made even safer for employees. Wire mesh is suspended beneath the conveyor to meet Canada Post safety requirements. The drive unit provides a smooth, uninterrupted conveyor flow throughout the system. The Bridgeveyor conveyor system has increased productivity and provided Canada Post with years of trouble-free service. The Bridgeveyor conveyor system has been operating successfully in this Lily Cup plant since 1982. The key to the success of this overhead conveyor is the valuable floor space left available for other requirements in the plant. Since the conveyor allows the worker to handle only individual boxes rather than bundles as previously required, working conditions have become even safer. The 1,100-foot system moves around corners and negotiates horizontal and vertical curves and inclines with ease, transporting cartons from one department to another. The numbers positioned on top of each hanger indicate which size and type of carton is required, and the operator can easily attach the box to the specially designed carrier hooks. The smooth and uninterrupted chain flow uses 2 drive units, which are synchronized automatically by the control box. The speed of the conveyor can be easily adjusted to suit the required production rate. The take-up units, which maintain an even tension of the chain, use a standard 36-inch radius, allowing the cartons to move easily around the turn and proceed through the doors in the ceiling. Where applicable, the conveyor is conveniently attached to the underside of the roof trusses, requiring no bracing and minimizing the number of steel hangers required to suspend the conveyor. The Bridgeveyor conveyor has been operating within Lily Cups throughout various shifts since 1982. It's been determined such a success that our overhead conveyor system is now being considered by other Lily Cup plants. The Matsushita Company of Canada installed the Bridgeveyor conveyor system in 1978 to increase productivity on their television cabinet assembly line. The original conveyor system was over 1,800 feet long, and over the years the company has added 3 additional conveyor lines, each powered by its own drive unit and totaling almost 4,000 feet of conveyor. The cabinet transfer line is 770 feet long. This conveyor automatically picks up TV cabinets from the cabinet assembly conveyor and moves them on specially designed rotating carriers up to the next floor, where they are placed on a storage conveyor. Conveyor number 2 is the cabinet finishing line and runs a total length of 2,300 feet. The TV cabinets are moved through 5 spray booths on rotating carriers, which ensure smooth and even painting. After painting, the cabinets travel on the conveyor through an oven, which bakes the paint for 12 minutes at 175 degrees Fahrenheit. Exiting the oven, the conveyor moves the cabinets by automatic transfer to accumulation storage. Bridgeveyor's unique design minimized the surging factor in this 1/2 mile system and ensures a steady, even flow of the conveyor. The 400-foot paint line in conveyor number 3 is used for painting plastic parts used in the cabinets. Each rotating carrier carries 2 plastic parts through a fog tunnel, where the parts are sprayed with a water-soluble conductive solution, making the plastic conductive before it's painted. The conveyor and the carrier hooks are both grounded. The parts now enter a Runsberg paint booth. The paint is charged at 100,000 volts and is sprayed on the hanging parts by a high-speed rotating disc which moves up and down the length of the plastic part. The painted parts are conveyed through an infrared oven for final curing. This ceiling-mounted oven is used for the paint drying of conveyors 3 and 4. Conveyor number 4 is the mask decorating line and is 500 feet long. It moves the plastic frames of the TV cabinets past 5 spray paint booths. Each spray operator removes the particular part he paints, fits it in the painting fixture, and places the painted part back on the conveyor, where they are moved to the infrared oven for drying. Bridgeveyor's enclosed track design is able to protect the chain and bearings from paint, chemicals, and ovens. The Bridgeveyor conveyor system has increased the overall efficiency at Panasonic so that their normal production rate has now exceeded 1,200 cabinets during each 8-hour shift. Bridgeveyor conveyor systems use an enclosed track design in which the conveyor track is able to move through corrosive chemicals, paint, and dust with complete protection. The success of this design can be seen in large automotive factories such as Chrysler and Citroën. This Chrysler factory in Ontario supplies automobile door parts and panels to Chrysler plants in Canada and the United States. Valuable floor space is left available for other uses, such as packaging and assembly stations, as the automotive parts are carried through the plant on the overhead conveyor. At Chrysler, the conveyor system operates 5 days a week during 2 8-hour shifts each day. The large door panels are conveyed easily around tight curves and steep inclines as they move by each required assembly station. The conveyor moves at a smooth, steady rate of speed, and the predetermined pace can be adjusted according to production needs. The Bridgeveyor conveyor system has been operating successfully in the Chrysler factory since 1983. The Citroën plant in Concord, Ontario, manufactures car doors, fenders, and hoods for such companies as Ford, General Motors, and Chrysler. The 1,500-foot conveyor moves at a predetermined production speed of 20 feet per minute. Citroën uses a multi-drive conveyor system with an electronic shear pin overload protection feature. The parts are conveyed through a 5-stage zinc phosphate wash and rinse cycle and then travel for 14 minutes in a 350-degree dry-off tunnel. The conveyor moves the parts from the top dip tank, where the parts are completely immersed in a primer coat of paint. These painted parts are baked as they travel through a finishing oven to complete their cycle. The Bridgeveyor system has improved safety conditions in plants such as Chrysler and Citroën, as well as increasing overall production. Chosen because of its quiet, clean, and smooth operation, the Bridgeveyor conveyor system has been operating in Sangamo's Toronto plant since 1982. Supplying the Canadian market with electrical meters, Sangamo had the overhead conveyor system installed to improve the plant's overall efficiency. 4 conveyors operate throughout the Sangamo plant. On the final test and assembly conveyor, the meter parts are conveyed throughout the plant in a unique product carrier which was specially designed to suit Sangamo's needs. The vertical curves designed use a small radius which make it possible for the conveyor to dip down to individual workstations and then elevate back up and out of the way, freeing valuable floor space. These carriers continually circulate on the overhead conveyor, and operators at assembly stations remove various parts for testing. When the tested parts meet all of Sangamo's requirements, they are placed back on the product carrier in the specified slot and move on to the next station of assembly. The parts supply conveyor for meter assembly is 792 feet long and circulates 396 carriers. It provides assembly stations with a constant supply of meter parts. The die-cast conveyor moves parts from the die-cast department on specially designed carriers, which automatically drops the casted parts into a vibrator. The vibrator is full of sand and moves at an accelerated rate, smoothing and polishing the parts so that they are ready for assembly. A safety shut-off line has been installed along the length of each conveyor for the convenience of the operators. The conveyor track easily supports the wire mesh protecting the workers below. The Bridgeveyor conveyor, designed to meet all of Sangamo's production requirements, was installed quickly and easily. The prefabrication of the conveyor system eliminates the need for any welding during installation. Right and left-hand threaded rods provide a turnbuckle for ease of leveling track during installation. Beam clamps adjust to different sized beams, and track hanger clamps are used for easy hanging and bracing of the conveyor track. The ease of design adaptability is evident throughout the Sangamo plant. The Bridgeveyor conveyor system has been operating in this Sargent's plant since 1979. The company plates industrial parts for doors and required Bridgeveyor to design a special carrier to move the door parts efficiently and easily. At the loading station, the parts to be plated are placed on the carrier, which is conveyed up a 45-degree incline to a door in the ceiling. In the plating room, the conveyor returns to floor level, allowing the operator to easily remove the racks. Several racks are placed on a rack hoist, which moves the racks down to plating tanks. When the plating process has been completed, the racks are then placed back onto the conveyor, where they proceed to the unloading and packaging station. The conveyor moves at a slow speed for the safety of the workers handling the parts. Bridgeveyor installed a safety wire mesh to protect the operators against any falling parts. The Reliance SCR variable speed control allows the conveyor's speed and direction to be changed manually. The enclosed track design protects the chain from the chemicals encountered during the plating process at the Sargent plant. The Sargent's company has found that the Bridgeveyor conveyor has enabled their production capacity to handle any increases in production demands.